We see symmetry around us everywhere. It is something we all human beings look for. Our ideas of beauty are closely tied up with symmetry, and the principles of symmetry manifest themselves in subtle ways throughout the natural world. The great mathematician and astronomer Johannes Kepler was crossing a bridge in Prague one winter's night. Kepler looked at the snow that was setting on his coat and asked himself why snowflakes always fall as equilateral regular hexagons. He began by examining another natural form that he believed also had a regular hexagonal structure. He asked what principles guide bees as they build their honeycombs. Today's standard meaning of the term originated in Italy at the beginning of the Renaissance and is what we mean by symmetry. For the ancient Greeks and Romans, symmetry denoted something like pleasing or harmonious proportions. The arrival of the symmetry norm testifies to the appetite for change that marked the first century of the Renaissance. The other meaning of the word was introduced by scientists in the 20th century. It derives from the observation that bilaterally mirrored shapes remain the same when inverted around the central axis. Such shapes, as one might say, change without changing. And this quality is defined as symmetry by the scientists to refer to the invariancies that they have discovered in nature's operations. In this usage, of course, symmetry is not understood literally but as a metaphor, so that when scientists say that the universe is symmetric, they are not claiming that the universe is divided into two mirroring halves or has harmonious proportions. Rather, they are stating something about the unchanging character of the laws that govern nature. Symmetry, in the words of the noted mathematician Hermann Weyl, is an absolutely precise concept. By that token, of course, asymmetry too is an absolutely precise concept. The terms, however, are not unambiguous but mutually exclusive, which is to say that symmetry and asymmetry are opposites. Thus, if a shape is not symmetric, it must be asymmetric and vice versa. According to the Indian worldview, in a dynamic living cosmos, the physical symmetry contains always an asymmetric element, which comes from the movement of life processes, from the movement of the mind, thought, and consciousness. This asymmetry goes away only with death, living life in harmony with the cosmic movement and by achieving imbalance of these opposites, a state of dynamic stability. Alan Lightman, American physicist, writer, and author of The Accidental Universe, says, symmetry leads to economy and nature, like human beings seem to prefer economy. If we think of nature as a vast ongoing experiment, constantly trying out different possibilities that cost the least energy, or that require the fewest different paths to come together at the right time, will take precedence. Does this answer the question of beehives, or does it ask a rhetorical question of our search for symmetry? According to the chaotic inflation theory, the universe began without any special spatial symmetries, in a complex chaotic state. Here and there by accidents, the fields pervading the universe were more or less uniform, and according to the gravitational field equations, it is in these patches of space that then underwent an exponentially rapid expansion known as the inflation, leading to something like our present universe, with all non-uniformities in these patches smoothed out by the expansion. In different patches of space, the symmetries of the laws of nature would be broken in different ways. Much of the universe is still chaotic, and it is only in the patches that inflated sufficiently that life could arise. So any beings who study the universe will find themselves in such patches. Lightman further explains that symmetry represents order, and we crave for order in this strange universe we find ourselves in. The search for symmetry and emotional pleasure we derive when we find it must help us make sense of the world around us, just as we find satisfaction in the repetition of the seasons and reliability of friendships. Symmetry is economy, symmetry is simplicity, and symmetry is elegance.